and thank you for stopping by the garage. Tonight I'm starting something new. I've never done anything quite like this. It's going to be the Batman model. It's a 1/8 scale model of Adam West Batman. I've had my eye on it for quite a while, wondering if I could do it. I've had some practice doing figures and stuff. Why not? I'll give it a try. Although 1/8 scale is, you know, a much bigger scale than 1/35 or 48 or whatever that I've been doing, but I think the skills will transfer, so I'm going to try. Besides Adam West, probably one of my... I mean, Michael Keaton's the best, but Adam West is right there too. He's a classic. So I'm just going to do a quick unboxing of this kit and then get starting building. So, opening it up, it comes with let's see, this is the Batcave base, so it's a piece of the Batcave. So I'll do that in, you know, browns, whatever, in the rock. The Bat Cape, right there. Looks like some string for, oh, he's holding a batarang, so that's the rope for his batarang. And then and then looks like there's his body right here. Cape, body. Oh, look at that. The Batman symbol. That's really cool. No pressure to paint that right. Oh, it's his head. That's Batman's head and the batarang. And the face of Adam West, Batman. And the top of the mask. Of course, remember, in the 60s Batman, he had eyebrows, and they're on there. So that's pretty cool. Way better than the 90s nipples from Batman and Robin. That was crazy. There's the arms, legs. So looks like right leg, left leg situation. They've got some decals. Got a gold bat symbol and a couple other Batman decals. Looks like maybe for his chest. So as far as a model goes, it goes pretty simple. To build, building is, it'll take a couple minutes, but that's not the challenge of this kit. The challenge is painting it up to look like Adam West. And of course this is a Moebius models kit, 1/8 scale plastic Batman. They have a whole series of these. They have Batman, Robin, Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, and the Riddler. So, oh look, the instructions look like a Batman comic book from the 60s and 70s. That's pretty cool. So, putting it together, again, that's not the hard part. But there's what the book looks like. There's one that's going to look like all done. Gloss. Oh, it has little painting tips. Consider adding a semi-gloss or satin finish to the cape, boots, glove, and cowl simulate the satin fabric surface. So remember that Batman had very satiny bat suit, the cape, all the blue. So pretty cool. Alright. Sweet. So there's what it looks like. The Batman kit. So probably what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to prime all of these black on the trees because they'll be easier to hold with black primer, and then assemble it that way, I think. Still not sure. I'm going to contemplate that a little bit. But Anyway, I'm going to get started with the build, but thanks for stopping by the garage, and take care. Alright, there's Batman all primed. I was fresh out of black primer, but I had some dark gray primer, so that's what I used. I think I'll get the same effect. So I think the instructions recommend putting it together in sets, so like the torso, arms, legs, and so on, cape, and head last. So I want to put the sections together, and then I'll start figuring out how I'm going to paint it. So I'm going to go with that now. Alright, it advises at this point to go ahead and paint the face, which I agree, because by the time you put the cowl on, I don't see how you'd be able to paint the face very well. So I'm going to start with just thin layers of, we've got light flesh, basic flesh, beige red flesh that I'm just going to kind of mix. Adam West was a fairly light skinned, so it's going to be a light skin color. Got a little bit of red to highlight the cheeks and the lips. If you look back at the old 60s Batman show, he definitely had very red lips from the theater makeup that they used back then, so I'm going to try to recreate that and go from there. So I'm just going to be layering on colors until I get the skin tone I like with thinned out paints. Okay, so there's what the first coat of the flesh looks like. It's very thin, and I'll just keep doing that until I build it up. I'm trying to keep all the crevices clean so it doesn't pool up in there. And then I'm just going to keep adding colors. Alright, and there is Adam West. I kind of surprised myself I was able to do that. Looks pretty good. I feel like I got the skin tone right. And the eyes are multicolored. I had to draw those in. There was no outline for those. So, and the subtle darkness of the front of the mask compared to the back of the mask. So, there's the head. Now the rest of the body is pretty much just a symbol and spray, and then there's some details, but this was the hardest part. The hardest part's done. So I will get the rest of it sprayed and put together, and come back at the end. is. This is the Moebius Models 1/8 scale Batman model. See, he's all done. There we go. Overall, it came out really nice. I'm very happy with it. I got this one just kind of as a challenge of something different. Wanted to see if I could do it, make the face look real, which I'll have to use this camera so you can really see it. I would say what I did. It came out really nice. I'm pretty happy with it. I can definitely see Adam West in that Batman there. In some ways it was a very easy kit. In others, there are definitely things I would do differently. As you can see, this joint here, I didn't quite get it flush. I was having trouble with, I was using Vallejo putty and it just wouldn't stick to it, but I kind of followed the directions where it said it would be easier to paint some things before assembly, so I painted everything and then went to put it together, which then the joints had some gaps, so I had to sand the paint and try to get the putty in there, but I think paint was interfering with the putty and that's why it wasn't sticking. So if I were to build this one again, I would build everything from arms, legs, torso, and put it together, then paint it. The head was done separate. I did fine with that. That way I can, while it's in its raw plastic form, get all the joints right, and then go in and paint it from there. But, you know, for the first time doing a figure like this, I'm very happy with it. It came out great. The rock, I think I was just playing with that and ended up with something very nice. Started out with just kind of a mud brown and with a lighter brown, and then just started dry brushing various colors over the top of it until I got something I liked, and there it was. It wasn't too tough. No big secrets there. And then how I did the face was just layering colors until I liked what I got. Would just do, well, if it's too light, so I'm brushing a little dark. You can see that, you know, in the crevices of the face, I made sure dark flesh went in there. And then just kind of worked everything out until I got to where I liked it, and then I stopped. And that's it. As far as assembly goes, it's not a hard kit to assemble. Each limb, there are two halves you put together. Arms, legs, the torso were two halves you put together. The head was actually 3 pieces, I believe. And then you just glue everything together. It's the challenge is in painting it. But I think I captured the satiny glossy of the blue on the old 1966 Bat costume. And of course, if you look at it, the mask is actually more flat on the front and satiny on the back on the real one, so I kind of captured that as well. And there it is. So that is the Moebius Models 1/8 scale Batman. I'm definitely going to probably do Robin and the Joker. This was a fun thing to do. I think I can do them a lot quicker now that I know what I'm doing. Go from there. But if you're looking for a different challenge and you build models, and you've done, you know, the 1/35, 1/48 scale figures, and you want to see if you can do it bigger, I think you can. I used the same skills in that to really make this happen, just on a bigger scale. So there it is. Well, thank you for stopping by the garage, and take care.